Tonight, from the Merrick Recreation Center in Southeast Washington, D.C., we have a 6-bout card on hand, brought to you by Tack Promotions and Putney Promotions, here tonight in Southeast Washington. Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here. Welcome you to the Merrick Recreation Center in Southeast D.C. for our card here tonight. The new promoters on the scene, Tack Promotions, that's Tony Athletics Club, and Putney Promotions working together to bring you this card featuring a boxer who makes his return to D.C. after fighting down south for the bulk of his career. Actually, he fights for the very first time in D.C., but he'll be coming home today for the very first time. My longtime partner, Juan Marshall, will be with me tonight. We wish him well as he recovers from knee surgery. He says hello to everybody, and hope he'll be enjoying the card just like you will be enjoying the card right here on the Boxing on But Google app for Android and on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio.com. Hope you're joining us and will enjoy the card here tonight. Our card is broadcast of the card is brought to you by Real-Time Pain Relief. From boxers to ballerinas, for shoulder pain and muscle strain, everything in between, Boxing on the Beltway recommends Real-Time Pain Relief, the natural, fast, safe, and effective ointment. You go to freepainoffer.com, buy $10 worth of Real-Time Pain Relief. You get a free $10 tube of Real-Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. Well, the young man we're talking about, who is making his return to D.C. after a very long absence, actually the very first time he's fought here in D.C., is a young man by the name of Jonathan Bad Badger Baxter. He is out of D.C. His record is 8-1, 7 KOs, and he lost his pro debut in Baltimore at DuBurns Arena back in November of 2016. So pretty much 1 year, almost really to the day. I mean, just 1 year and 5 days away from his pro debut back on November 12th of 2016. And he lost that to Vladimir Pierre, a 4-round split decision. Good bout between the two men. We had that bout for you here on the Boxing on But Google app for Android. But since that time, Baxter and his crew, they have decided to go down south. And they fought the majority of his bouts, like all the rest of his bouts, in either North Carolina or in Georgia. The majority of his bouts have been in North Carolina, around Wilson. He did fight in Greenville, North Carolina, at East Carolina University's Mingus Coliseum. His one bout in Georgia was against Darren Hester in Jonesboro, Georgia, scored a first-round knockout. And he scored knockouts the bulk of the way. The only time he went the distance was against Michael Bynum. That was in May of this year, May 26th, at the Dorton Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. That was a tough bout for him there. Other than that, all of his bouts have been TKOs. He went to the 6th rounder for the very first time in his last bout against Isaiah Robinson at the Holiday Inn Airport in Airport Hotel in Greensboro, North Carolina. He scored a 2nd round TKO in that bout. So that's the first time he's approached a 6th round contest. Today, he will have his, I won't say his work cut out for him, but he'll go up against the guy who is actually the most veteran opponent and most experienced opponent that he will have so far in his career, and that is Joseph Trouble Figueroa. He's out of Brooklyn, he's out of the Bronx, New York. His record 11-62-5 with 3 KOs. This will be his 79th pro bout. And when he steps in the ring for the first round, it'll be the 500th career round that Joseph Figueroa has fought in his pro career. His pro career dates all the way back to 1995, I believe. Actually, no, let's go back. Go back to 1991. That's when he made his pro debut against Edwin Santana. But he's fought some quality opponents throughout his career. And he's taken some time off. He took 7 years off between 2002 and 2009. But just some of the people that he has fought over his career. He's fought the likes of Kennedy McKinney, Nate Campbell. A lot of guys who don't even box anymore he's fought. He's fought beltweight boxers like James Baker. He's fought, recently he fought Andrew Farmer at the ABC Sports Complex back in May of 2016. Lost an 8-round unanimous decision there. He's fought Andre Baker, Shake and Bake Baker, and actually lost to him. That says something. He's fought Luis Masonette. He has fought Jermaine Fields, another local boxer. Lost a 5th round decision there against Jermaine Fields. Gary St. Clair, David Toledo. He's fought Joe Fitzpatrick out of DC. Fought him in Salisbury, Maryland, of all places, at the Wacomico Youth and Civic Center. And he's fought some real quality people in his career. He fought Brian Adams out of New York. So you name it, he's fought him. And so he's fought some really good people in his career. And for the last 9 bouts he has lost, Figueroa has gone the distance in all of them. So that means the likes of Andrew Farmer, Stevie Weimer, he fought at the ABC Sports Complex as well back in April 2016. He lost a majority decision to James Edwards back in January of 2016. His last bout was a 4-round unanimous decision loss to Osnell Charles. In fact, the last time that Figueroa has been knocked out, you got to go all the way back to March of 2010 when he lost by first-round knockout to Gerald Jordan. So Jonathan Baxter looks to get some rounds in this bout as he goes up against Joseph Figueroa in this contest, again scheduled for 6 rounds in the welterweight division. In our co-feature tonight, we see one of the leading female boxers in the country. That's the Dark Menace, Tierra Brown, out of Bladensburg, Maryland, by way of Fort Myers, Florida. Brown is 3-0 with 2 KOs, coming off a second-round TKO win over Tammy Franks. That was on August the 12th at the Howard Theater in D.C. Now, her opponent today is a rematch from a bout that took place in March of 2017, March 25th, when she won a 4-round unanimous decision over Natalie King. Natalie King's out of Wilson, North Carolina. She is 0-7, but she has gone the distance in 6 of her 7 bouts. Only time that she got knocked out was against Alicia Napoleon. I can understand that. But that's a tough young lady there. But she lost to her by first-round TKO there. But she's fought the likes of Angel Gladney, Lisa Garland, who's fought here before. Gladney has fought here before as well. And she comes off, her last bout was against Tierra Brown back on March 25th. So that's a 4-round co-feature. Natalie King taking on Tierra Brown. And we look to see tonight whether or not Devontae Speed Rawls will come back and bounce back off his first pro loss. Devontae Speed Rawls out of Glenarden, Maryland, super lightweight. He is 8-1-1 with 6 KOs. His last bout was indeed that loss to Dion Richardson back on July 13th at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. That was a 6-round split decision. And again, as I said that night, here on the Box on Belt with Google App for Android, that was the first time that I saw any boxer negate Devontae Speed Rawls' speed, his hand speed. And Richardson did a good job of doing that and went on to win a deserved victory. No question about that. Tonight, Speed Rawls takes on Robert Hitman Hill out of Gulfport, Mississippi. Record of 7-34-1, 1 KO. He last fought on August 12th at the Howard Theater, lost a 4-round unanimous decision to our very own Shingaskan Tazabai. But prior to that, he scored a victory over Roy Garcia back on July 29th in Gulfport, Mississippi. So we'll see what happens. And Hill has fought his share of good people. He's fought Jerron Boots Ennis. You know, he's fought Craig Callahan, Bahudir Mamajanov out of the Ukraine, and other great boxers as well. So he's fought some solid people as well in his own right. So it should be interesting to see what happens. That bout scheduled for 6 rounds. Devontae Speed Rawls taking on Robert Hill. We have another hitman on the card tonight, and that's Robert Hitman Hill out of D.C. He's 1-0, 1 KO, made his pro debut on August 29th at the ABC Sports Complex. Springfield, Virginia, won a first-round TKO over Zachary Johnson. Hines faced a veteran in Cliff the Magician McPherson out of Cleveland, Ohio. He's 2-33-1, 1 KO, and he's lost his last 31 bouts. He lost to Linwood Dozier back in September of 2016 in Johnson, Tennessee. Dozier knocked him out in the first round. His last bout was a second-round TKO loss to Levante Early on February 11th in Chattanooga, Tennessee. He also lost to Avius Griffin in the first-round knockout, and that somehow was for a state welterweight title. I don't understand that, but be as it may. Fears we said lost 31 in a row. He lost to Terrell Williams. He's fought to a number of people over his career as well. So we'll see what happens. That bout scheduled for 4 rounds. Cornell Hitman Hines out of D.C. against Clifford McPherson. Another 4-round bout debuting Deontay Burtz out of D.C., out of the Woodland Tigers gym. He'll take on Malik Artis out of Wilson, North Carolina. Artis is 0-4, and he's lost his last 2 bouts, both the beltweight boxers out of Baltimore, actually. Mac Allison in the 4th knocked him out in the 2nd round back in August of 2016. And then Jamal Dyer knocked out Artis in the 1st round in Greensboro. Both bouts took place in Greensboro, North Carolina. Dyer's bout took place on April the 8th. That was a 4-round bout. Malik Artis taking on Deontay Burtz. And a 6-round bout, Brian Pappas out of Yonkers, New York. 16-2-1. All 16 of his wins by knockout. He'll take on Jason Michael Tyson McClure out of Paris, Arkansas. He's 1-9. These 2 guys that fought before. Pappas knocked out McClure back in September 2010 in Paris, Arkansas. 4th round TKO there. Last time out, Brian Pappas won, his 1st round TKO over Andrew Hartley on December 3rd in Johnson City, Tennessee. Meanwhile, Jason McClure only fought 1 time since that bout in 2010. He fought in 2011 against Elliot Foreman. Lost 2nd round knockout there in Russellville, Arkansas, and has not fought since. So we'll see how that goes along as Jason McClure returns to the ring after a 6-year absence. Now, opening bout tonight will be a bout between light heavyweights Alan Lawrence out of Newark, New Jersey. He's 2-0, both his wins by knockout, both his wins in the 1st round. And he'll take on Henry Mercer out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, 2-13, 1 KO. Mercer coming off a 1st round TKO loss to Calvin Henderson in Greenville, North Carolina. So that is the card tonight from the Merrick Recreation Center. Look forward to having a good night here of professional boxing here tonight. Now, we are located in a neutral corner with the red corner directly in front of us on the right-hand side of the ring. On the left-hand side is the blue corner directly off to our left, and across the way is another neutral corner in the far left-hand corner. So if you want to chat with us today, you can chat with us on the line right here on the Boxing on Beltway Google app for Android. Let's ask your questions and talking about great things going on in the Beltway region. All right. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Good enough. Saying hi to the chair of the D.C. Boxing Investor Commission, Adam Wears, here tonight. And I don't know what, it looks like we'll be getting away pretty shortly. Referee Sharon Sands is in the ring, testing out the ring. They did some, almost look like major surgery to the ring earlier tonight, but everything seems to be okay now. Of course, Friday night, had a tough loss for Kareem Martin in Flint, Michigan. Lost an 8-round unanimous decision to Cowboy Ryan Carl out of Malago, Texas. And overall, a good performance, I thought, for Kareem Martin. But I think it got to a point where the size situation for Carl, he's a little taller, a little bigger reach. I think that kind of like what happened with David Grayton in that bout, it kind of wore him down a little bit. And it had to be very tough for him. So Kareem Martin will bounce back, it looks like, and we'll see what happens as we get closer and closer to that one situation. So tough loss once again for Kareem Martin. Good performance on the undercard by Keyshawn Williams. Boy, he looked good, I tell you. 1st round knockout there, and I tell you, the knockout, if that bout had taken place in the Beltway, that'd have been a strong candidate for knockout of the year, because he hit his point with a brutal right hand that just turned him completely around, knocked him down. So a tough situation there. Great win for Keyshawn Williams, and he'll be added to the 2018 rookie class. He started his career in mid-November. And of course, don't forget, speaking of November, big bouts coming up. Of course, tonight also in Gulfport, Mississippi, the Aegis Wonder, DeMarcus Chop Top Corley is fighting tonight. Of course, on the 21st, David Grayton's on the card on a toe-to-toe Tuesday. On Tuesday, February 21st, on the undercard, the Russell brothers, Antoine and Antonio, will be on the card as well. And of course, that all leads up to November 30th, Thursday night, November 30th, at the MGM National Harbor and Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Lamont Roach Jr. will be headlining that card, defending his WBC Youth Silver Super Featherweight title. Looking to get on the way very shortly here. We'll take this brief pause. We get ready for our first bout of the evening here tonight. You're listening to live coverage of the TAC Promotions and Putney Promotions card from the Merrick Recreation Center in Southeast Washington, D.C. Stay with us, everybody, for more action. We're back here at the Merrick Recreation Center here at in Southeast Washington, D.C. Gary Digital Williams, and I believe I said 6 bouts. I believe it'll be 7 bouts on the card tonight. 7 bouts tonight, headlined, of course, by Jonathan Bad Badger Baxter as he takes on Joseph Trouble Figueroa here tonight. So we're about 10 minutes away from starting, according to what I've been told, and so a lot to talk about, of course. Once again, the big bouts coming up with the Russell brothers and, of course, David Grayton. His next bout coming up. And, of course, the card on November 30th at the MGM National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland. Now, I tell you, right now, not a whole lot of beltweight boxers on that card. Really, technically, Lamont Roach is the only beltweight boxer on the card right now. We do have the Rincon brothers, Alex and George, who train in the Beltway, train over at No Excuse Gym in Capitol Heights, Maryland, but they're not from the Beltway, they're from Carrollton, Texas. So really, there's nobody else on the card as of right now, anyway, from the Beltway on this show. Now, there could be a couple of reasons behind it. They may not be able to find anybody. Everybody's been either has fought over the last few months. We haven't had a lot of boxers fight recently. That could have something to do with it. Or they just decided they didn't want to put it on there, you know? Who knows? So hopefully that'll change within the next week or so. But again, that's November 30th, Thursday night. Now, of course, we won't be podcasting a live show from there. That's the start is on ESPN. But we will be doing a podcast. Hopefully Juan Marshall will be able to join me that night. I know he's recovering from knee surgery, so hopefully he'll be able to recover from that and be able to join me there on Thursday, November 30th. A lot of things going on because it's right after Thanksgiving, so that should be a lot of fun, no question about that. Of course, we're getting close to our Beltway Boxing Year in Review that Juan and I are putting together, and hopefully we'll get that out before the end of the year this year. I'm not sure. Hopefully we may just wait till the end of next year, beginning of next year for put that out there. We had an interesting year this year, no question about that. I think the only difference that I think to a large extent we have plateaued a little bit. A lot of our Beltway boxers over the last months or so have not been able to get the job done in the big bouts. You know, Mike Reed lost his bout, had a tough loss there. That was a real tough loss, as a matter of fact. Of course, as we said, Kareem Martin lost his bout this past Friday night in Flint, Michigan. Gervonta Davis did win his bout, but he lost his title. So really, the only one that really kind of made the grade in that particular situation was indeed Jarrett Hurd, who defended his title against Austin Trout back in October. So we may have plateaued a little bit. We really have. We really may have plateaued. So we'll talk more about that as we go along. And that'll be a big part of what we talk about with the year in review. As we look toward 2018, big bouts already on the horizon, especially one of the biggest women's bouts we've had here in quite some time. It won't be here, of course. It'll be at the Turning Stone Casino in Verona, New York. That's, of course, Clarissa Shields taking on our very own Tori Nelson. And that's a big bout, no question about that. So, again, that's a bout where, one way or another, Nelson can cash out, in all honesty. Win or lose, she may not have to fight again for the rest of her life, unless she just wants to. That's a big bout, one way or another, for Tori Nelson. Once again, Juan Marshall is unable to be with us tonight. He does send his regards. We wish him well as well as he recovers from knee surgery he had this week. And look forward to seeing him back by my side later on in the year. We do have a couple of cards scheduled for December. So we look forward to ending the year off with a good note in December. I believe there's another card at the ABC Sports Complex in Springfield, Virginia, possibly one at the Burns Arena in December, right before Christmas as well. So got still a little bit of 2017 to go, but 2018 looks very strong already, especially with that Nelson Shields bout coming up. And of course, also, I think that's right. Not only do we have Nelson Shields on Friday, January 12th on Showtime, but we also have Lamont Peterson taking on Errol Spence on Saturday, January 13th, also on Showtime. So again, we start off with a big rush in 2018. So we're about 5 minutes away from starting unofficially. Once again, Jonathan Baxter taking on Joseph Figueroa. You've got Tierra Brown in a rematch against Natalie King. We've got Devontae Speed Rawls against Robert Hill in a 6-round bout there. We've got Cornell Hitman Hines against Robert Hill. Against Clifford McPherson. Deontay Burks in a pro debut against Malik Artis. We have Brian Pappas against Jason McClure, and we open up with Alan Lawrence going up against Henry Mercer in our first bout here tonight schedule. So it looks like the referees will be, I see Michelle Myers here at ringside, so she looks like she'll referee tonight. I think she and Sharon Sands supposedly are the only referees working tonight's card, both females, both good, very good referees. In fact, Sharon Sands, to her credit, she lives actually in California, and she comes here periodically to do our cards here, so that's great to see that. I see judges Wayne Smith and Eric Irizarry. Tammy Jenkins is here tonight. Maybe Mark D'Antillo might do some judging as well. Some of the notable people here in attendance tonight. We see Hall of Famer Mark Too Sharp Johnson joins us here tonight. The legendary Eugene Hughes of the Midtown Youth Academy is here. I saw Tariq Irby running around here earlier tonight. So just some of the luminaries that are here in attendance at the Merrick Recreation Center. Nice facility here. Actually in white. Got a blue curtain that's covering the stage over directly in front of me. And good nice facility here in Southeast DC. So some good action looking forward to tonight. Couple things coming up in December. We have the Elite Youth and National Championships, and we have the Elite Boxers that we talked about. We saw that on the Box on the Beltway blog today. We had the likes of Amelia Moore, and I tell you, Amelia Moore has had an outstanding year this year. She won a National Golden Gloves for the first time. She won a Ringside World Championship. She won a National PAL Championship. I believe she won a couple other titles throughout her 2017. She looks to cap it off with an Elite Championship coming up at 141 pounds. Also, Keyshawn Davis, who won the National Golden Gloves out of Alexandria, Virginia, by way of Norfolk, Virginia. And also coming up is Troy Isley's in that mix as well at 165 pounds. Cornell Hines won 141 pounds. So they look to win Elite National Championships in December. I believe it's December 3rd through the 9th in Salt Lake City, Utah. So hopefully we're getting started momentarily. You're listening to live coverage of the TAC Promotions Putting Promotions card from the Merrick Recreation Center in Washington, D.C. here on the Box on the Beltway Google app for Android. I'm Gary Digital Williams. Juan Marshall unable to be with me tonight as he is recovering from knee surgery. He does give his regards, and hopefully we'll be chatting throughout the evening here tonight. Once again, our broadcast brought to you by Real Time Pain Relief. You go to freepainoffer.com. Buy $10 worth of real-time pain relief, you get a free $10 tube of real-time pain relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. My voice kind of goes away a little bit tonight. It's been kind of a busy day for me because I also had to work a basketball game this afternoon. Beginning my 24th year as the public address announcer for Coppin State University, and our women's team, big win tonight over Mount St. Mary's. Tonight, final score is 68-54 at the Physical Education Complex. Actually, kind of like the Beltway boxers, this came down to Beltway basketball players tonight, as three young ladies from Prince George's County really led the way for the Lady Eagles tonight. Chance Graham, I tell you, not to go too far off the subject, but Chance Graham, one of the best young basketball players I've seen come through the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference in a long time. She reminds me a lot of Darlene Beal, who used to play at Howard University back in the mid-late 80s. But Chance Graham had an outstanding game tonight, 21 points, career high, 14 rebounds as well. Genesis Lucas, and she went to Largo High School, by the way. Genesis Lucas, who played at Gwynn Park High School, she had 20 points. She also had 8 steals tonight. And the one lady who is pretty dear to my heart because I was a former teacher of hers at High Point High School in Beltsville, Maryland, Dami Oloyede, had a career high 10 points. She had 7 rebounds as well, had a couple of steals, a couple of assists. I think she had more than that, actually, but she had a good assist game, played a good all-around contest today as Coppin State defeated Mount St. Mary's at the Physical Education Complex. So that's where I worked today, and then came on over here. So, we ask for your blessings on this night, and look forward to getting through this night here tonight. Well, we're past 8 o'clock, and then look like there's no way of starting. So Adam Weir, the chair of the commission, is here. Kim Lockett, one of the commissioners of the DC Boxing Wrestling Commission, she is here tonight as well. We also have, of course, Skip Brown, the deputy commissioner of the DC Boxing Wrestling Commission. They are here in attendance tonight, and I tell you, they have done an outstanding job. I mean, it's been tough this year because I think the MGM National Harbor took away a lot of not only DC's thunder, but Virginia's to an extent as well, though Virginia has had more bouts. But DC's had it tough. Hopefully with their new facility that's in Southwest DC, they can use that and start bringing some bouts to DC again the rest of the year. But the convention center, I don't think was used much at all this year. The Armory was not used at all, and that's after 4 cards they had in 2016. 4 major cards there in 2016. The Armory was not used at all in 2017. So hopefully that will change as well. So we're getting ready for the card to start. Let's take this short pause. We get ready for the start card to get underway. Stay with us here from the Merrick Recreation Center in Southeast DC. You're listening to live coverage of the Tax Promotions, Putney Promotions card on the Box On Beltway Google app for Android. Stay with us. Merrick here at the Merrick Recreation Center, Southeast Washington, D.C. Gary Digital Williams here. And there could be a little bit of an issue. We don't know. But doesn't seem to be any emergency medical personnel here at ringside. I've been called to go to see Skip Brown, the Deputy Commissioner of the D.C. Box Wrestling Commission. And they have yet to go over there. So they truly cannot have this card without EMS personnel in attendance. That could truly delay what we're doing here tonight. We're scheduled to get on the way at 7:30, then it was 8 o'clock. And goodness knows what time we might get on the way now. And there really did not seem to be any medical personnel here in attendance tonight other than the doctor himself, who happens to be Dr. Richard Ashby, I believe, and that's interesting in and of itself. I'll talk about that next week during my podcast, though. But if there is no medical personnel, we cannot have this card right now. I'm sitting across from Skip Brown. Skip Brown's over by the DJ area, which is directly across from me. And no medical personnel has come forth. And while this is not a whole lot of parking can be found here, this isn't a tough place to find. So, little minor situation here tonight at the Merrick Recreation Center, because we do not have, as of right now anyway, EMS personnel, emergency medical service personnel. And without them, this bout cannot legally take place. We'll see what happens here as we remain in the delay here from the Merrick Recreation Center. Actually, we were scheduled to get away at 7 p.m. That got changed to 7:30. And whereas this after 8 o'clock Eastern time, we still don't have any. Have any medical personnel, that is. So the crowd's starting to fill up here tonight at the Merrick Recreation Center. There are seats on the floor, and we have bleachers right behind us here. a couple banks of bleachers off to my right and to my left. Not completely full, but it is filling up here. Let's see, we got, no, this is security from, what's it? No, this is police security here. So police are here, but we still don't have EMS here. That's not good. That is not a good sign. That is the case. That is not a good sign. Because again, this card cannot legally continue unless there is emergency medical personnel on staff. Oh, let's see. We may have him here. We may have him here. Let's see. A couple people going right by us. And let's see. Nope, that's not them. Okay, I thought I saw somebody with a bag here, but that was not them either. So. Well, the deputy commissioner just walked past me along with ring announcer Discombobulating Jones. So we could be in for a long delay here tonight unless they get here very soon. So we'll see. I know I've said that a number of times already tonight, but we're in a wait and see mode. We are in a wait and see mode because, again, we don't have it. We cannot have a card here tonight. As simple as that. Everybody else seems to be placed. All the officials are at ringside. We're ready to go, but can't go at this point. Once again, let's take a moment. We'll take a break, come back. I hope we can get this card underway. From the Merrick Recreation Center, here on the Box on Beltway Google app for Android, on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio.com. Stay with us. This is good. Back here at the Merrick Recreation Center, and ring announcer Discombobulating Jones has stepped into the ring here, and he's about to give us what I think is not going to be great news, in all honesty, folks. Let's see what happens here. Here's bringing on this Discombobulating Jones.
Services that come can't start the fights without somebody gets seriously injured, and everybody's liable. The promoters out there. So the only way, from what I understand, so what we're going to do at this point is proceed with an introduction and a recognition award. We're going to do an animation, but no better time than now. And certainly, if everybody does a little, no one person has to do a lot, and that means we need to reach out to our youth because they're angry and they're incurring as much money Businessman of the Year, but he's also a two-time defending and reigning ringside world amateur champion. Don't let the good looks fool you. He can fight. That's pretty Ricky that can fight for real. That's why we really appreciate you leading the way, man. Thank you so much. On that note, fighting a good fight, we're going to collaborate with as many churches as we can, and certainly mine is at the forefront of that. Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. This is our Men's Day weekend. Right on, you come out tomorrow, 215 Rhode Island Avenue, 745. Now you know we're not gonna make 745, but you can make 1045. We got some great things in store. Let me give you a preview of it. This gentleman, I went to his church when he had the funeral service for Mr. Finley. Anybody remember Mr. Finley?
James Finley. Yeah. Yes.
Great man.
Yes, indeed.
So I went to the church for homeborn, and this pastor, he spoke about in such a way that touched me, that told me he knew about that man. He was just giving a sermon. He talked about that man and let me know he cared about his flock. So I've been going there ever since with my wife for the time to stay. My lovely bride.
Yay!
My better half, I'm just the other half. Thank you so much. But this gentleman, as I've seen it, he's for real. And he's fighting a good fight on behalf of this city. So we want to honor him in the ring tonight. Surprise, Pastor Terry D. Streeter.
Wow, yeah.
That's right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Come on up this way.
Yeah.
Take your time coming up with him.
Pastor Streeter, yeah.
That's right. There you go. Get that thing there. That's right. There you go. There you go. Fight with a good fight. That's right. Malik, if you will, please. Have something made up for you. Oh, there's Jesus.
This involving Jones unveiling a robe for Pastor Terry Streeter. It says Tough Terry Streeter, blue and white robe with gold lettering. Putting the hood on his head there. Tough Terry Streeter, the pastor of Mount Pleasant Baptist Church.
Did you see him in front? Walk around, man. It's the victory walk. Right around Mount Pleasant.
Pleasant Baptist Church.
The greatest pastor this side of heaven, fighting a good fight. Tough Terry Streeter.
Wonderful tribute there.
Thank you very much. I'm certainly surprised and honored by all of this. We're all in it together, and certainly our youth is our future as well as our present. And so we are out to do all that we can. And I think that's the team over there. God bless you. Good to see you again. Praise God. Yes. My brothers and sisters, the chief of police of Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Well, good evening, everyone. I was telling somebody earlier we had a really bad couple of weeks at MPD. We lost 4 folks that worked for our agency, 2 were our sergeants. One of them was murdered up in Baltimore. I tell you that to let
He's the chief police of Washington, D.C.
Boxing is a sport that takes extreme dedication, it takes desire, it takes commitment, and for all the people that were responsible for putting this thing together, can we give them a round of applause? Events like this are one of the types of things that we're going to save our city, getting our young people in activities similar to this and the type of things we're going to save our community. So thank you all for, thanks for having me, and thanks for letting us know.
I have a camera.
All right, put your time, put your flash out. It's the time.
So a lot of luminaries in the ring tonight as we wait for the ambulance to show up. But again, good job by DC Boxing Hall of Fame ring announcer Disco Mama Jones, bringing some major league people to the ring here tonight.
Give them something. EMS is on the way.
Okay, so the EMS are en route. Don't know where they're coming from, but we'll see. So this may be another 2-podcast night here tonight because of the long delay we'll have as the EMS is on its way to the Merrick Recreation Center. Where could it be coming from? I mean, I believe there's still hospitals in Southeast, but I don't know. This area's changed so much over the years. See what happens. So we will have boxing here tonight. Just as soon as the EMS comes to the Merrick Recreation Center. So still then, we'll stay with us right here on Box on Bowie Google for Andrew. We'll come back with a little more preview of this card. Stay with us. back here at the Merrick Recreation Center, where we've decided to make a decision here, and we are going to postpone this podcast until the card gets underway. We're waiting for this thing, and it's not fair to listeners to have people listen to this podcast and listen basically to nothing as we wait for the EMS people to get here. So we're going to do that, and as soon as they come back, we'll be back on the air with another podcast. So for now, I'm Gary Digit Williams. Sorry for the delay. Out of our control, of course, and we will come back as soon as the card gets underway here from Southeast DC. Stay with us, everybody. Thank you.